A lot of people believe that this is your future if you keep complying and acquiescing to authoritarian whims.
Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network.
What?
Yeah, you offended someone. Jail! As of course, there's some serious considerations from this administration that's looking at potentially introducing hate speech laws and rules that already have been abused in places like the United Kingdom, that also is working on a digital identification system that is absolutely Orwellian, as even Palantir doesn't want anything to do with it. All of this is happening as Tucker Carlson is warning and allegedly turning on the Trump administration over, quote, using Charlie Kirk's death for their agenda. What is their agenda that they are accused of pushing? Well, abolishing the First Amendment, rounding up Americans, getting rid of our civil liberties. Is that exactly what's going on here? As we are going to be examining Tucker Carlson's comments and seeing if they are hyperbolic, wrong, or if they are right, as there's a serious discussion that needs to take place that Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram, started on his 41st birthday, talking about the dangers of free speech all around the world. Pavel had some very insightful, important things to talk about. We're going to be reading his statement, playing clips from Tucker Carlson. And if you appreciate these types of videos, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all of your attention and time to this very important matter. Now, well, what's happening in the United Kingdom is wild. It is crazy. You go off and you offend someone. You're like, hey, I dislike Palestinian flags everywhere. Jail, cops showing up at your house. 4 a.m. in the morning. Hey, what are you doing, bloke? Oi. Do you have a license for that opinion? I don't like the British people. Because they're either yellow bellies or just authoritarian fascists, actual fascists that are like, yeah, oi. And they're always like, oi, mate. And I'm like, hey, get a grip. You're living in a Big Brother Orwellian surveillance state that now is going to get that much worse, especially with the push for a digital identification system that the Trump administration is also in lockstep with. Real ID, you ever heard of that one? Officially instituted under the Trump administration. Why in the world do we have federalized digital identification systems that are now needed to fly? We already have a passport system. Now we need a more centralized data system that, of course, takes all of our private information that now private organizations like Palantir will be databasing, harvesting, when the government already is horrible at keeping your data. I remember going through passport control, coming back into America, the country that I'm a citizen of, and they're like, take a picture. I'm like, no, I don't want it. And they're like, why? You believe the government's watching you? I'm like, well, they are, and they're failing to prevent a lot of the big kind of attacks too. When did we give up that trade? That was the worst trade ever. But two, the government's horrible at protecting your data. Your social security numbers, they're out there, by the way. No one wants to talk about that. How did that happen? The government lost your database. They're like, oopsie daisy. The government's horrible at protecting your data. And now you want the government to have more of your data? Get out of here. And then the guy was giving me a hard time. He's like, what do you mean? Why don't you want to give me your biometric facial surveillance? Because it's the thumb. And I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone. Can I go? Okay. Google. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And now Tucker Carlson has come out and is warning about this surveillance state, warning about hate speech laws and the trampling of the First Amendment, which I believe are legitimate concerns. Now, is he right to pinpoint the Trump administration for this? Well, let's listen to him and let's see what he has to say as his latest kind of monologue about this. I think is important to at least listen to.
You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human.
Exactly. Especially when they think that they could control your thoughts and punish you for your thoughts. Oh, you thought jail, punishment, social credit score, deduction. Happens over in China, and we are following the Chinese model very closely, especially with the developments with artificial intelligence that are very worrisome. As of course, listen, I think this Mirror article is a little bit unfair because I think Tucker is talking in the hypothetical, saying, "I hope this does not happen," but I think he has reasons to be concerned about this, and I think his reasons are legitimate, especially when we have the Attorney General of the United States saying things like
There's
this.
free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society. There's free
Yeah, right after Charlie's assassination. No, you can't say mean things. What? Yeah, you can. That's the core founding principle of America. You could say things and express yourself, which is ridiculous. And again, Trump backed her up. And listen, the Real ID. Listen, what's happening on college campuses? What just happened to TikTok? With Bibi now sitting down, Elon, and having a discussion about him, I think is the exact antithesis of what Charlie Kirk warned about and didn't want to happen. We're going to play that clip as well as Trump's clip and then get into this very big bombshell statement by the founder of Telegram. But before we do, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. We got a lot of great products. If you're going to buy one product that I would recommend, that I've seen the biggest significant difference, I mean, it depends on your own personal demands and needs. But if you're going to buy one product, buy the creatine. Most powerful, cleanest form of creatine out there. If someone can't tell you where they got it from, it's usually filled with crap, and it's usually from China. Ours is not from China. Ours is from Germany. Highly sourced, highly concentrated, 99.99. No fillers, no nonsense, no bull crap, no heavy metals, none of that. 2-month supply, $53. Creatine has been the biggest game changer, especially if you're dealing with issues with sleep. Number one, fix your issues with sleep, right? Naturally. Don't have too much caffeine. Don't get too much blue light. Get blue blockers. Make sure you wind down. Make sure you meditate. Make sure you don't eat. You don't drink hours before you go to sleep. Make sure you have care and consideration not to raise your heart rate right before you go to sleep. Make sure you naturally try to lower it. Saunas are also great at helping you get better deep and REM sleep, by the way. Anyway, but you get crappy sleep. Sometimes you don't. I had a crappy sleep last night. It wasn't that good. You know what? I'm going to be taking some creatine. Why? Because there's a study highlighting, specifically with athletes, showing how it reversed negative decline in skill performance, especially with largely sleep-deprived individuals. Larger doses of creatine have been shown to help people out a lot. Again, I really like this stuff. It makes the biggest difference for me, not just for your muscles, but most importantly for your brain. Now, there's a lot of cognitive deficits. A lot of people are burnt out. A lot of people's brains are just burnt. My brain's a little burnt out. Yesterday, I did 4 of my videos, did another hour podcast, Davari Darkins, then I did another podcast with Michael Malice, who's traveling, working, speaking, busy day. And that creatine, I'm telling you, makes the biggest difference. As someone says, buy your grandma some magnesium and creatine. We got both available on the best political, on wearechange.shop. So magnesium also really great. Creatine, next level type of stuff. You buy it, you support yourself, and you support us. Now, let's go back to the Tucker Carlson clip. We didn't play the rest of the clips here, but listen. Right after Charlie's death, there's a reason. Pam Bondi's like, yeah, we're going to go after speech. We're going to make sure you can't say mean things. And everyone's like, what? Now, luckily, it was a big pushback. But there has to be a reason why Tucker Carlson, who, by the way, talks to Trump about Epstein and Iran and all the very difficult, hard conversations that I believe he's right on, that he's coming out and warning about this now.
They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views. You hope that.
Yeah, we should be able to express our views. As Donald Trump even hinted, hate speech, when you're unfair to me, that's hate speech, and we might prosecute you for it.
And what do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
She'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate.
She'll probably go after people like you. Now, he's riffing, but the answer should be, hey, no, we live in America. We have the First Amendment. You have a right to say awful speech. Right?
You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after
appropriate?
ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you.
No, he didn't like that question, and he kind of roasted the organization. But listen, when it comes to free speech, right, the answer to hate speech is just more speech. This is what Charlie had to say, which I think is important to listen to more than ever.
What is so important about freedom of speech is that, as a utility, is that you're able to find the best ideas and find really bad ideas. And how do you do that? More speech. The solution is not to label them as a hate group and to say, the answer is more speech. As soon as you begin to silence, all of a sudden you're getting into the business of trying to tell people exactly what they're supposed to believe and how they're supposed to believe it. And the beauty about the experiment of free speech in the West since the inception of America has been, this has worked, that good ideas have begun to rise. And you look at countries that do suppress free speech, bad ideas rise really quick. And it's a tactic by authoritarians and totalitarians to suppress those that they disagree with.
Absolutely. And that's why we need more speech. As now, Pavel Durov made a very important insight, asking the question, are we becoming more free or are we becoming less free? I think the argument is less free, especially what just happened at the college universities, especially what just happened to TikTok, especially with leaders of foreign nations being like, yeah, we're going to buy off influencers in your country and we're going to meddle in your elections because we can, and we're going to do it blatantly in front of you. While there are major censorship efforts. Now, give credit where credit's due. I got to give Kash Patel credit, as he took down some of the most nefarious anti-free speech organizations and their conjunction with the Federal Bureau of Investigations. He got rid of the ADL and the SPLC from cooperating and working with the FBI. Give credit where credit's due. Great, amazing thing. Powerful. Important. Thank you, Kash Patel, for doing that. Very important stuff. A lot of people are like, why did it take so long? Did he just find out about it? I don't know. But listen, Pavel Durov, who has been detained for allowing people to have free speech, for having a platform that essentially allows people just to talk to each other, just came out and says, I'm turning 41, but I don't feel like celebrating. Our generation is running out of time to save the free internet built for us by our fathers. I agree. What was once the promise of the free exchange of information is being turned into the ultimate tool of control. Once free countries are introducing dystopian measures such as digital ID, UK, online age checks, Australia, and mass scanning of private messages, European Union, Germany is persecuting anyone who dares to criticize officials on the internet. The UK is imprisoning thousands for their tweets. France is criminally investigating tech leaders who defend freedom and privacy. Yeah, they arrested him and put him in there until he agreed to give them all the kind of information that they wanted from him. He says, quote, a dark dystopian world is approaching fast. While we're asleep, our generation risks going down in history as the last one that had freedoms and allowed them to be taken away. We've been fed a lie. We've been made to believe that the greatest fight of our generation is to destroy everything our forefathers left us. Tradition, privacy, sovereignty, the free market, and free speech. By betraying the legacy of our ancestors, we've set ourselves on a path towards self-destruction, moral, intellectual, economic, and ultimately biological. So no, I'm not going to celebrate today. I'm running out of time. We are running out of time. Crap. Yeah. And only until reading this message today did I kind of think about it, and I pondered. Because you're always caught up in the daily news. It's like, okay, this is happening. Schumer shut down. Everyone's talking about that. And I'm like, okay, lots of stuff, lots of wild stuff is always happening. I'm always paying attention. I'm like, but taking a step back, I'm like, listen, I think this administration needs to do a lot more than just get rid of the SBLC and ADL cooperation. I think this administration needs to do a lot more to codify, to protect our speech and our ability to be able to communicate with each other and our ability to express ideas that are sometimes not that pleasant to listen to. And again, I don't like some of the things some people are saying, but we have to understand, if we don't stand up, if we don't protect the rights of those individuals to say and speak out as they choose, we will destroy our ability to express ourselves in the not so distant future. And again, the term hate speech, as talked about by Jonathan Mittershek here, says, was invented to justify censorship. And again, Tucker Carlson now bringing it up and making a key core fundamental issue, saying, hey, you better not use Charlie Kirk's death in order to bring this in. Charlie Kirk was against this. I think is an important reminder for something that could potentially happen. Now, it hasn't happened, but I think we need to reverse course and go full speed in the opposite direction where the Trump administration is slowly etching towards. National ID, I hate that. And we need to say, the Trump administration literally just centralized all of our data and information with the federal databases, and that he's sharing all the information based on all the government departments, bringing all of that data together to build social credit score systems on everybody. That's essentially what he's doing. What are you doing? Now, seeing J.D. Vance go over to Europe and be like, hey, guys, can you stop imprisoning people for their speech? That'd be nice. And then them doubling down on it and us just kind of ignoring it is another faux pas. It's another issue of like, bro, they just like totally, they just bitch slapped you. Europe bitch slapped you. Like they just told you, yeah, you want us to stop arresting people for speech? We're going to do it more. And we're going to invite your media and we're going to brag and laugh in your face about it. And that's what the German politicians did. They're like, ha, 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 we stole his cell phone. He expressed a meme that we thought was racist. Yeah. And then Trump's like, oh, whatever. J.D. Vance, oh, whatever. I'm like, excuse me. These people are publicly disrespecting you, publicly defying you, publicly saying, oh, you want us to not? Yeah, we're going to do it more. And now we're helping them and financing them and socializing them and being a part of NATO for them. Why? Again, we need to push back. There's a reason insiders, Pavel Durov, Tucker Carlson, who have big connections to big powerful people, are saying, listen, guys, something's coming ahead. And whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's more draconian centralization of power, I think you know, a lot of us just want us to be like batteries in a pod, just like in the Matrix. Roger Stone. A man is not finished when he is defeated. He is only finished when he quits. Yeah. Good quote here. Owen Schwery. Not only are we losing our free internet, they're going to turn it into one giant surveillance net on top of us. Yeah. That's the big concern here. That's the big issue here. And if there ever was a time to fight back against it, it is now. Will that actually happen here? I don't know. Tucker Carlson is saying, look, as soon as this happens, civil disobedience. And I agree with him. We should say the most awful, horrible things if they implement hate speech laws, whether we agree with it or not, in order to push the Overton window, in order to push the president. Because we got to understand here, Democrats are going to come in office. They're going to love hate speech laws. They already had their own kind of iteration of it. Let's just be real with ourselves. But giving away our kind of constitutional rights on a silver platter and not emboldening it and not reinforcing it right now, big mistake, and it needs our attention. And if you agree, share this video. Get it out there. And if hate speech laws are going to be implemented, I'll join Tucker Carlson. Let's do some civil disobedience. Let's express some opinions, and let's see what happens. And let's see where the chips fall. This is also related to the flag burning incident, right? Nick Sorger was like, look, someone burned a flag. I know who did it. Here, Trump. Go. Trump's like, we're going to prosecute them. I'm like, really? You're going to prosecute someone for burning a flag? And again, there's new laws now saying, and those laws are based off of emotions. Those laws are based. You offended us. We're going to arrest you. That's why I don't like the flag burning stuff. I don't like people burning the flag, but if someone wants to do that to their private property, they have every right to. Now they don't, under this new Trump administration that is investigating and prosecuting people. And Pat Bondi's like, yeah, we're going to get them. And I'm like, dude, we got to push for freedom. Nick, I understand you got the flag, but Nick, why? Or you're like, hey, look, I know who did it. We're going to get them. Why? Why? I disagree with that. Free speech, free expression. The more of that, the better. The less of that, the more we're screwed. And some people are saying, gloves are off. I don't care. They did it to us. We're going to do it to them. No, that's not the time. We need more expression, more speech than ever. If you agree, get this video out there. Thank you so much for supporting us on wearechange.shop, getting yourself some great products like creatine. I want to be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/we